So there's a small YouTube channel named JasonTheWeen, and recently I just found out that apparently there was this whole situation where Sakura, Kaide's sister, apparently said J is for John, and then Jason got really pressed, and then after that a whole bunch of stuff went out the window. Basically everything went out of control, and people started turning him into this punching bag, and it just became this whole mess that I just wanted to give my take on real quick, because number one, I do need views, and number two, I don't really know. I just felt like talking about it because, why not? I have the ability to give my opinion. Whether or not it's good or bad, it's up to you, but I have the right to, so I'm going to use it. Now, I have done my research on this because I don't have anything else better to do with my life, so here we are. Anyways, I have done quite a few things that need to be said, and hopefully I get the death threats in my comments at least, so that way I can, boost engagement on my platform. Please don't send them via email, send them on YouTube, so that way there is public evidence of you harassing me and sending me death threats. Thank you very much. And please don't carry them out, I kind of need those to boost my engagement on my platform, but I prefer it if you didn't carve bomb my house, because, I do need to stay alive. I'd also prefer it if you guys didn't harass the people mentioned in my video, because by doing so, you're pretty much partaking in illegal tomfoolery, basically, which, surprise, surprise, will get you in trouble. And also, you are going to be a huge dickhead if you harass the people mentioned in my videos. Just don't do that. I don't really see why you would. Find something better to do with your life. Don't end up like me. Find something better to do, make the most out of your life, don't harass other people. Also, I discovered this drama thanks to WestJet because of this, so thanks WestJet, I really appreciate the idea. You are a pretty good slop king. So with that being said, let's begin. First, let's start off with the death threats. What the hell are them dogs doing, dude? What in your right mind made you guys think that it was appropriate to send death threats? To all the males sending death threats to her and attempting to pressure her into a relationship, y'all gotta get your dicks cut off because you are not a man if you're sending death threats to a woman to intimidate her into a relationship. Maybe chop off your right thumb for good measure too. For you to be a man sending death threats to a woman, you gotta be out your goddamn mind. And as for the woman, how would you like it if you would be pressured into a relationship with a man? That is probably one of the worst things to happen as a woman. Like, if you are a woman and you're sending and you're being sent death threats, I can imagine that would pretty much suck because you don't want to be in a relationship with a guy maybe, but people are forcing you to, otherwise you're going to get like, that is such a pretty bad life to be living. Like, I wouldn't want to live like that. Hot take right there, like being sent death threats is not a pleasant experience. Whoever has sent death threats to anyone involved in that piece of content, you have got to be the most porn-brained hooligan ever. To be forcing a relationship and to be wanting to see what their kids look like, that is just such a disgusting thing to be doing. I don't even know why people would want to do that. Like, find something better to do with your life. Trying to force a relationship doesn't even make an ounce of sense. If they don't get together, then you're gonna be depressed or espresso. But if you do force the relationship, it's not true love. So I don't really see why people would try to force the relationship. Like, either way, it's not gonna go well. Love is valuable because it's two people who voluntarily cherish each other until death do them apart, not because some random strangers on the internet want to see what their kids look like. Like, again, celebrity relationships, they do make sense because those celebrities understand each other and the struggle that they need to go through, and they are the only two people, or the only two pairing that can understand each other and have some semblance of a relationship. Otherwise, most celebrities, if not, like, I would say around 99%, or not 99, maybe like 95% of celebrity relationships do not actually love each other. They're just with each other for, number one, the attention, number two, the struggles, and number three, maybe they can collab or something. I don't know. I'm about to say a slur here, so get your cameras out and ready. I think that people who send death threats are parasocial. Oh my god, I'm getting cancelled. I can see those views going down. Oh no, Willie Tato called those people parasocial. But this is legitimately parasocial. You are projecting your life onto them, and you're like getting yourselves too wrapped up into that specific scenario to the extent where you try to take control of someone else's life. And that's just not a good thing to be doing for obvious reasons. That's not your life to be living. You shouldn't be trying to take control of people's lives. That just makes no sense. As for the situation itself, yeah, I'm being parasocial here. But anyways, in terms of the situation itself, I don't think that Sakura was actually trying to hit on John. I think that the whole J for John thing was more of like a whole, she's trying to entertain the camera while the main act, Jason in this case, was away. Like, if Jason's away, then what's the audience gonna watch? They're gonna see Sakura on there because, Jason was featuring Sakura on the stream. So if he's gone, then naturally the next person to, entertain the camera for a little bit until Jason gets back is Sakura. And in that case, there wasn't really anything to do. They were just sitting around doing something. So maybe they were trying to do a little bit of chat, and then after that, she was trying to make a joke. She was trying to say, oh, J is for John or something like that. And then after that, when she lied about it, maybe she was lying about it because, that was like a natural, which again, don't get me wrong, that's a bad thing to be doing, but she lied about it because, she wanted to just try and pretend like it never happened because it was just a joke in her eyes, which again, I have to reiterate, it's not a good thing for her to be lying about that. Like, just admit it. Like, just say, yeah, no, I just said J for John because, I had to entertain the camera some way, and that's about it. I think that's what actually happened, and then she was just too scared to actually admit it. So, yeah, she lied about that. That's what I think happened. That's my conspiracy theory. But in terms of what actually happened, I don't really know because I don't watch JasonTheWeen that much. I only watch what was necessary and the context surrounding the clip to come to the conclusion that I think that she was just trying to entertain the camera and make up a little bit of small talk for the camera while Jason was away. And that's my take on the situation. That's my conspiracy theory. Third, about the Jason getting pressed because his whole girl was busy with the cameraman, quote-unquote thing, I actually think that Jason was rightfully kind of sad about it. Like, without the context, he wouldn't have known that his date was actually just trying to make a little bit of small talk. And instead, from his point of view, without any context whatsoever, it kind of did look like that she was hitting on him. And he's a young guy. I know, like, I'm younger than him, but I mean, I'm one to talk. But anyways, from my perspective at least, he's a young guy. And not to offend him or anything, but judging from his behavior on stream, which is completely different, I know, but content projects a part of a person's character at the very least because streams and entertainment are a form of art. I think that that's his first time experiencing anything that is genuinely romantic in any way, shape, or form. Not for the stream, not for the donos or clip farming, but genuine, real love, care, and regard for someone. And if it isn't, then it still sucks because at the end of the day, he was with someone that he worked hard to try and get a date with, all for it to be thrown out the window from his point of view. But if it is his first time actually experiencing something, which from my research it isn't, but if it is, then that's just even worse. Because you just broke a man's heart. That was his first time on a date, and then you kind of just ruined the experience for him. Like, that was his first time. And that's genuinely really hard to come back from. Especially because it's with someone that worked closely with them. That's just gotta suck. And on top of that, he thinks that he finally found the one, and that I can respect. But Sakura saying that was a little bit messed up at the end of the day, but I mean, from my point of view at least, she was just trying to, entertain the stream a little bit. Like, it was a whole misunderstanding. And then she naturally lied about it to try and cover it up, which isn't good, but I mean, that's just my conspiracy theory. I don't really know. And he had every right to tweak out just a little bit about it, and he did so in a very controlled manner, and he handled it pretty well from what I've seen so far. However, what I can argue makes it even worse is the whole situation where everyone's just ragging on him about it, saying how, oh, she was thinking of another man while with you, haha, type of thing. Do you guys remember the whole Sup Caitlyn situation where Sup Caitlyn was making fun of her mod and was being an absolute dick to her? Yeah, she got cancelled for being an insufferable asswipe, but although the other streamers, such as Ludwig and QT Cinderella, are not as bad as Sup Caitlyn, obviously, I still think that it's kind of messed up to be playing around with his heart and his feelings, like here in this clip.
What are you doing right now? Say hello.
Why would you troll me?
What?
You said you're gonna be here.
She's in VCT. She's in Toronto.
You thought Jakura was gonna be here.
Yes.
Did you fly her out?
No?
So why the f would she be here?
I know you're trolling me.
Hey Amber, why you dressed up so nice for her?
What's gonna go down? Yo, she left this. I mean, I brought it.
It's not exactly like Cinderella's shoe. He thought Sakura was gonna be here.
What the fuck? What the fuck? I thought you were VCT.
Both Lud and QT are kind of just messing around with him, getting his hopes up just to see the look of pain on his face that he couldn't see a person that he cares for. And then after that, he sees his woman, and after that, yeah. But, I mean, QT and Lud were kind of, like, baiting him out and kind of just got his hopes up for nothing. And, that's just a type of pain that, sucks to have. And yeah, he got to see her at the end, but it's kind of just messed up to be joking around like that and playing around with his feelings. And yeah, at the end of the day, they're clip farming, and I'm making my imaginary bands talking about the situation win-win. However, it's important to note that behind the screen, behind every camera, is a human being. And we all need to keep in mind that these people are still human, including during the production of the entertainment and stuff like that. And I don't know whether or not this is all staged. It doesn't seem to be, judging from Jason's response and how everything was talked out, which implies that there were some emotions that needed to be settled behind the scenes, meaning that this was probably not staged. But even then, he's still a punching bag, and I kind of just feel bad that people, in my eyes at least, seem to be using him for views and kind of like playing around with his emotions. And another example of this is when I believe that looks like QT in this TikTok right here, the one that Jason posted. I can't really see who it is. I think that was QT, yeah, because he tagged it in the TikTok. She even says that's why Sakura likes John more, and then that's just like such a mean insult to be giving.
That's why Sakura likes John more.
Roasted. No, that's fighting words.
That reminds me of the whole Sup Caitlyn situation, where Sup Caitlyn was making fun of her mod, telling her mod, "Oh yeah, no, you're too ugly. You're not gonna be able to slam some ham tonight." And it's just, I'm just sitting here going like, that's just kind of cruel, honestly. But I mean, either way, that doesn't really matter anymore. The drama's already over. I'm already like 5-6 days late to this, so who cares? He seems to be happy. They seem to have sorted it all out. So win-win. Who am I to take that away from him? But I just wanted to give my take on that a little bit. So yeah, that's about it. That's all I really got to say about the situation. Overall, I'm glad that Jason was able to find a girl that might be meant for him. I don't know if they're even together officially or not, but I mean, I don't really know. Like, whatever path goes, it's probably for the best for them. And TLDR basically is that Jason's being treated as a punching bag, and I kind of do feel bad for him because, you know, he kind of likes this girl, and everyone's treating him like the way high schoolers would treat their friend if their friend had a crush. Like, you know that whole thing where it's like, oh yeah, your crush is right over there, I saw him, and then like the high schooler would like come up to like the pool or something like that. Turns out the crush wasn't there, and then all of the friends would be laughing at that one person. Yeah, that's kind of what this is like, but except it's now with 30-year-olds and 20-year-olds. So, like, basically streamers have not aged. Like, they have stayed in high school for quite a while now. I don't think they matured at all, but I mean, it's not like I'm insulting Lud or QT or anything like that, but it's just that, you know, you could, you know, maybe be treating him a little bit better, maybe not turn him into a little punching bag. To Jason, if you're somehow watching this, Godspeed, man. You're doing great. I'm glad that you were able to find success at a very young age, and I'm glad that you're doing as well as you are. To Sakura, if you're somehow watching this, I hope you stay safe out there. There's a lot of crazy psycho bitches out there. And to Lud and QT, I don't know, I don't even think that any of those guys are going to be watching this video, but might as well just throw it out there. Lud, QT, maybe stop playing around with the guy. Like, he's already suffered enough. He's already felt bad. Like, he's already struggled. He's had his struggles, man. So please, like, just don't, you know, keep beating him up. But that's my opinion on the matter. I don't care whether or not they get together. That's not my life. I could not give less of a damn, but I just wanted to really get this out there because I just felt really bad. And also because I really needed views. But I also just wanted to give my quick thoughts that I think everyone should at least consider when it comes to streamer relationships, especially this one, as well as how people are treated behind the scenes when it comes to entertainment. So yeah, I mean, that's about it. That's all I really have to say. I hope you all have a good day, and bye.